This head is, I don't know, 10 years old, and I haven't used this drum in a while, partly because of that. So I'm gonna change out the head and talk a little bit about maintenance. First thing, well, let me get this head off and then we'll talk about what's happening next. So if it's a drum that I haven't touched in a while and I want it to have a nice long life, I will remove all the tension rods, these guys, being careful not to lose any of the washers, from the hoops so that I can clean them and re-lubricate. To clean them, I use WD-40, not to lubricate them, but to clean them, because it removes corrosion and it makes sure that there's no water getting inside your lug casings. There's probably a better kind of rag to use for this than a paper towel, but paper towels are fine. I do often also spray WD-40 into the lug casings, again, just to try to displace water and, you know, make it easier for corrosion to go away, but you can't scrub in there, so. Next step for me is I apply a little bit of Vaseline. You can use white lithium grease too. That's actually probably better. Dirt doesn't cling to white lithium grease as readily, but it's easier to find Vaseline and it's totally fine to use it. So then I just wipe off the excess Vaseline on each tension rod, and then we'll be ready to seat the drum head. Okay, so seating the drum head basically just means making sure before you even put the hoop on that it's sitting on the shell evenly. If you just kind of casually throw this on, it does have some play, right? So you want to make sure that you know, by just kind of rotating it and sort of playing with it a little bit, that it's sitting evenly on the shell before you put the hoop on. We throw the T-rods in. One last sort of test to make sure the head's seated really well is if you want to make sure that it doesn't look like this right before you start applying pressure. If you can see how they're kind of tilted. So you want to make sure that the tension rods are straight up and down. So the first thing I do is I finger tighten pairs, opposite pairs, until there's the slightest bit of resistance. As I said, one finger on the lug casing so I can remember where I started, and I start doing like half turns on pairs, opposite pairs, and I go clockwise